Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another tier list. So, today we are looking at all the current championships in the WWE. Now, this is one I wanted to do for a little bit, but kind of held off on because I debated whether or not this is the route I wanted to go for this tier list. But I decided, might as well go for it. And thank God I procrastinated because a new championship design was recently introduced, which we'll get to. But nevertheless, we got our we got our championships here, and then we have our tiers down here. So, in our top tier, we have go for the gold, meaning it's a really good, very beautiful looking championship, really solid looking championship. We have A tier, which is maybe not the top tier, but still really, really good. And then B tier, we have kind of like the middle ground where it's not great, not horrible. And C tier will be championships that are one or two things keeping it out of the trash. And at the bottom, is throw it in the trash because you'd be surprised how many championships were thrown in the trash. But without further ado, let's get right into it. We got our championships. Let's go. So this is going to be championships both on the main roster, which is of course Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And in fact, as I'm recording this, we're in the midst of the WWE draft. Just had night one of the draft happened last night on SmackDown. But nevertheless, let's get right into it. Also, another thing to keep in mind, for starters, as always, these are all my opinions, so if you disagree with any of these, that is completely fine. But and also let me know in the comments your favorite championship designs. But also, we will not be taking into account the championship lineage, aka the people who have held the championship. The only thing we're focused on is purely the championship design from a design standpoint, how it looks and everything. So without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with the WWE Championship. Now, kind of like a interesting polarizing design for this championship. There are some people who really dislike this look, and then there are people who really, really like it as well. Also, plenty of people on both sides, and I feel like the argument could be made for both sides. On one hand, it almost does look a bit too generic with like the WWE logo smack dab in the center, and a lot of the design on here being the strap perhaps has the plates and everything, such as the centerpiece and the side pieces, but otherwise a lot of strap and the generic logo. But on the other hand, I think it still looks really nice. I do like the custom side plates for each champion to have their own custom side plates to give kind of a unique feel. And I like how almost every championship in WWE history, save for a few, have had some way to really distinguish who the championship belongs to at the time, whether it's the nameplates on some of the older championships or the side plates here. So I think it looks pretty decent. It's got the W design there, a lot of jewelry decked out, of course. So the W Championship, I think I'll actually put it in A. So the W Championship is going to go in A. I know a lot of people don't really like the design, but I think it's a pretty decent design. It does the job for what it's supposed to be. But now we move on to the Universal Championship, which is pretty much the same as the W Championship, as we'll see with a few of the championships here on this list, them being kind of the same and everything. But as for the Universal Championship, we got the blue version here, the Blue Universal Championship, as a lot of people have referred to it sometimes. And as kind of meh as this design may seem to some people, it used to be a whole lot worse. Remember the red Universal Championship? Sadly, Pepperidge Farm remembers. but otherwise, thankfully the blue looks a lot better. But the fact that this was pretty much like a copy of this and couldn't be its own design, and the fact that the blue is not as good as like the black here is pretty disappointing. And so the Universal Championship, I think this version, and if it was the red version, it would definitely either put it in C or throw it in the trash. But this one I'll put in B. Now, because Roman Reigns holds both championships and is going to be drafted to one brand in particular, not sure if they're going to introduce a new design to combine the two or just like drop one of the two. Probably drop like this one, but for now, oh yeah. So there's WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. But now we have the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which was recently reintroduced by Triple H with this new design. And I kind of talked about it the other day in a discussion video. If you haven't already, go check out that video. But pretty much similar to like the old school World Heavyweight Championship, the big beautiful gold belt that a lot of people were clamoring for, but now with some updates. And now that I've had the chance to look at it multiple times all across social media and including in my discussion and everything, it's not a bad look. Like, I think kind of the centerpiece is a bit jarring, but it also has the side pieces, and it does have a lot of the other aspects of like the World Heavyweight Championship, just with the W Championship in the center. So I'll actually, plus it's not like a total eyesore like the red Universal Championship. So you know what? I think I'll actually put it in I think it is a really good design. I don't hate it, actually. You really like it. It just took a little bit of getting used to, I think. And probably the images of how it looked like on Raw and like the TV lighting and everything probably didn't help. But now that I'm looking at here, it's actually pretty decent. And you can even see like the World Championship lettering right there. Plus, like I said, the side places, which are very, very nice. But next up, we have the WWE United States Championship. This one I want to like, but it's definitely held back by a couple things. It has custom side plates, which are nice, but I feel like the centerpiece is kind of where it falters. More specifically, the fact that there's not really as much going on as I'd like. I've often said that this would be a lot better if this like champion was kept black, like this being red, and then the flag design down there, and the eagle. I actually don't mind. It actually looks pretty cool. But if this was changed to black, but then this part with the stars was actually changed to blue, well, I think it would look a lot better. And someone put like an edit on there actually changing this part to blue, and it looked so much better. But as it stands, it's okay, but it could be better. So the United States Championship, I think I actually got to put in C. A bit disappointing, and again, like that change would have made things better. Kind of similar to how they did with the other United States Championship, the old design. But now we move on to the Intercontinental Championship. Now, this one also polarizing, just like the World Championships, where a lot of people hate it, a lot of people like it. Me, personally, I am a huge fan of this design. Like, I fell in love with it the first time I saw it. In my opinion, it is a really good-looking belt. It's got the centerpiece. It's very unique as well. Not duplicating a design, which is nice. It's got the side plates, which are also nice. It's got the centerpiece and the globes going on. Someone also, similar to the United States Championship, did an edit with the white strap and the blue. Now, the white strap and the blue does look a lot better, and of course looks similar to like the older Intercontinental Championship design. The retro design reintroduced by Cody Rhodes, while he was Intercontinental Champion. But this one still, I think, looks really cool. So this one, I think I'll actually go for the gold here. So the Intercontinental Championship design, I am actually a really big fan of, and I think I spelled that wrong. But yeah, I actually really like it. So I'm going for the gold there. But next we move on to the Raw Women's Championship. Now, kind of similar to this one, like these two, except white strap and the red centerpiece, and kind of the pink ink part there, or underneath the where the swoosh is supposed to be under the WWE logo. Oh, it does have a center place. That's nice. And I think the white strap does kind of like offset it a little bit. It's not like totally red like the red Universal Championship, but the fact that these titles couldn't be their own titles does kind of suck. But nevertheless, the Raw Women's Championship, I guess, works fine, and so I'll put it in B at least. The Raw Women's Championship is gonna go in B, and And next we move on to the SmackDown Women's Championship, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, it is pretty much the same as the Raw Championship, just in blue. It does have the red swoosh there as opposed to the pink one, which I think they did that because the back part is red, so they wanted to differentiate it. But this one I think looks a little bit better, but again, too bad it couldn't be its own championship design. Now, if they did it in like a similar vein to like the old Women's Championship, why did it do that? But if it could be in like a similar vein to the old Women's Championship, if the one held by people like Trish Stratus and stuff like that. I think it would work much better, but yeah, it's gonna go in B. Next up is the Raw Tag Team Championships, which I wonder if Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to drop at least one of the championships, depending on which brand they're drafted to. I also saw a report that new tag team championships are going to be introduced, but that remains to be seen. But as for these tag team championships, kind of similar to what they did with the WWE Tag Team Championships, which was the black strap with the copper or bronze piece. I'll show you. Pull it up really quickly. So you guys can see, not those ones. If they brought these back, that'd be really awesome. But no, these ones with like the bronze piece and everything, pretty much the same, in which they did as part of like the initial return to the draft back in 2016, and then SmackDown got its own, which we'll see in just a second. And SmackDown's was pretty much the same, but then the Raw ones was changed to silver and red, which honestly I'm not like the biggest fan of. I've kind of gotten used to this design because it's been around for a little while, but not the biggest fan of. Again, why couldn't these be their own championships? So the Raw ones, I think it does the job. So that I'm actually going to put in B. And then next up is the SmackDown Championships, which is pretty much the exact same. So because the Raw ones went in B, the SmackDown ones I think I'm also going to put in B again. And the design of the championship himself, I actually don't hate. Like a lot of people probably don't like it because like the gladiator design and everything, and some of the other aspects. I don't mind them, but the fact that they're pretty much like carbon copies of each other is really disappointing. But next up is going to be the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, I said the lineage wasn't going to affect the titles, but it does have to be stated. Sadly, the women's tag team division in WWE has been kind of lacking, which is unfortunate. Tag team championships is something that people wanted, and that at least for the women, and then when we got it, it didn't really pan out how people hoped it would have. And sadly, the same kind of goes for NXT. But nevertheless, as for these tag team championships, they look okay. I think there's a little too much silver going on. I do like the silver and gold. It looks nice, but the silver and gold on the white background, I think, does kind of throw it off a little bit. If this was like a black background, which they probably weren't going to do, sadly, because the women's titles usually have the white strap, but if it was like a black strap or even like a different color strap, I think it would work a little bit better. But I do like the centerpiece. He's in like the stuff poking out, and the fact that it's unique is also really good. It's a unique design. But as for the title itself, I don't know if I want to put it in C. I think the stuff going on in like the centerpiece, I think is what saves it. But otherwise, yeah, I think we're gonna put it in B. But next up is going to be the NXT Championship. Thankfully, when they changed the championship to be more colorful to represent NXT 2.0, I wonder if they'll change it back to the other design now that NXT is kind of like back to not necessarily black and gold, but white and gold now. But but the different colors and everything. And thankfully, it doesn't hurt the title that much. Like, they didn't put it on like the center parts where it could do too much damage, but they actually put it on some of the side parts and kind of wrapped it around like the NXT logo and the side plates there, which I think it was a really good call. Oh, and the fact that it's on the black strap is really nice, and yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. And the fact that this got changed to silver instead of gold like the other one, I think is also pretty cool. So the NXT Championship, I think I am gonna put in B. So the NXT Championship is going to go in B. In the colors, thankfully, I don't mind. But next up is the NXT North American Championship. This is a really cool looking championship. The fact that it's unique and it's got a lot going on with like the glow part and everything, and the fact that it's a bit shorter but wider, or if it makes any sense, I think works really well to help differentiate it from the other championship. And the strap design, kind of like the maroon design. Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the strap, which is kind of weird because my high school's colors were maroon and white, but I know a lot of people really like it, and for what it's worth, I think it is really cool. So the NXT North American Championship, I think I am gonna put it in B. Strap color aside, I think it is pretty nice and pretty cool. Next up is the NXT Women's Championship, which, you guessed it, same as this one. They do have some like different colors to differentiate, but otherwise it's the same. But the white strap, I think, almost comes at a detriment because again, it's like white on white, and I know silver is kind of like a bit different than white, but it is kind of still white on white. And colors on top of colors, I'm not always the biggest fan of. Sometimes you're able to get away with it, but otherwise, I'm not really the biggest fan of. But I think it still looks okay. So the NXT Women's Championship, I am going to put in B. And it feels like ever since the redesign of the NXT Championships, which they did in, I think, 2017, the Women's Championship has looked pretty much the same as like the NXT Championship, with some differences. But nevertheless, next up is the NXT Tag Team Championships, which surprisingly didn't get it changed at all, aside from like the redesign that they did in 2017, where it was tweaked slightly from the other design. Not even the 2.0 changed the NXT tag team titles, but these still look pretty cool with like the silver, and kind of a darker silver, or it might be just like the pattern they chose versus like more like the solid color here. Or looks like there is an effect to kind of make it pop a little bit more, which is interesting. And then it's got the WWE logos there, and it's got the gold right there, and the black strap, I think, looks pretty cool. So so the NXT Tag Team Championships, I think I am going to put in B. So the NXT Tag Team Championships are going to go in B. And then last but not least, the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, which look the same as the NXT Tag Team Championships. It's a bit of a couple differences with these parts, or it's kind of being a bit more on like the pinkish side, but otherwise it's pretty much the same. But it's still okay looking championship. So the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships are gonna go in B as well. So that is going to do it for this tier list. Thank you all so much for watching. So quick recap. In Gold for the Gold, we have the WWE Intercontinental Championship. In A tier, we have the WWE Championship and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. In B tier, we have the WWE Universal Championship, the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, the Raw Tag Team Championships. I'll put the S there. And then the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, the NXT Championship, the NXT North American Championship, the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT Tag Team Championships, and the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. And then C tier, we have the WWE United States Championship. But that's going to do it for this tier list. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on my rankings, your thoughts on the championship. If do you agree or disagree, and what's your favorite championship design in WWE today? But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.